The transmission crackled through the vast emptiness of space, a desperate whisper that cut through layers of static and cosmic interference. In the Galactic Transmission Command Center, Commander J. Park stood motionless, his eyes fixed on the flickering holographic display that captured the alien communication. The Zarian envoy looked haggard. Deep lines carved his azure-tinted skin, and his multiple eyes seemed to hold centuries of accumulated fear. Behind him, glimpses of a command deck revealed burning consoles and panicked movement. Something was terribly wrong. Lieutenant Yuna Kim adjusted the signal boosters, her fingers dancing across quantum communication panels. "Sir," she said quietly, "the transmission is degrading. We're losing connection." Park nodded, understanding the critical nature of every second. The message was fragmented but clear enough. The Zarian Confederation was under attack by an entity known as the Void Swarm, a species that consumed entire civilizations like a cosmic plague. What most in the current galactic political landscape didn't know was a secret buried deep in historical archives. Humanity had once saved the Zarian species centuries ago, during a conflict so obscure that it had been forgotten by almost everyone except a few dedicated historians and archivists. The holographic image flickered again. The Zarian leader's voice became more urgent. "We require immediate assistance. Our defensive systems are collapsing. The Void Swarm has already consumed 3 of our primary colony worlds. We have no options left." Yuna glanced at her commander. Park's expression remained neutral, but she recognized the subtle tension in his jaw, a sign he was processing complex information at lightning speed. "Can we trace the origin?" Park asked, his voice calm and measured. Attempting to pinpoint now, Yuna responded. Her hands moved swiftly, triangulating the transmission source through a complex network of quantum sensors and deep space tracking systems. The holographic display zoomed out, revealing a star map. A blinking red marker indicated the transmission's point of origin, deep in the Orion spiral arm, far beyond traditional human exploration zones. Park knew that making a decision would require more than just military considerations. This was a diplomatic challenge that could reshape humanity's relationship with galactic civilizations. Historical records were clear: humanity had once intervened in a Zarian conflict, saving them from total extinction through a series of strategic interventions. But that was centuries ago. The current generation knew nothing of those events. The transmission began to break up. The Zarian leader's final words became a desperate plea: "Help us. You are our last hope." Then silence. Lieutenant Kim looked up. "Sir, the transmission has been completely lost." Park walked to the massive windows overlooking Earth's orbital defense platforms. Thousands of ships gleamed in precise formations, representing humanity's technological might. They were prepared, always prepared. "Mobilize Research Division Alpha," he said quietly. "I want a full historical review of our interactions with the Zarian Confederation. And contact the United Earth Council. We need an emergency session." Yuna acknowledged the order, her fingers already inputting complex communication protocols. She knew this was more than just a potential military engagement. This was about honor, about remembering a debt long forgotten. Outside the command center's reinforced windows, Earth continued its rotation, unaware that a decision was being made that would change the course of galactic history. Humanity was about to remind the universe that some promises, no matter how old, are never truly forgotten. Commander Park watched the star-filled darkness, understanding that sometimes, redemption comes from the most unexpected moments. The Zarians had called. And humanity would answer. In the heart of Earth's most secure research facility, Dr. Sung-min stood before a wall of holographic displays, each screen pulsing with complex data streams and intricate technological schematics. The research team around him worked with an intensity that bordered on obsession, knowing that their work would determine the fate of an entire alien civilization. The historical archives had revealed fascinating details about the ancient interaction between humans and the Zarian Confederation. It wasn't just a simple rescue mission, it was a complex strategic intervention that had saved an entire species from total annihilation. Now, centuries later, humanity would be called upon again. Sung-min's primary focus was adaptive technology. Unlike traditional weapon systems that relied on fixed parameters, his team was developing quantum entangled communication networks that could think, learn, and respond in microseconds. Each system was designed to be more than just a machine, it was a living, breathing technological organism. "We need something revolutionary," he muttered, studying a molecular simulation of nano-adaptive armor. The material could reshape itself instantaneously, responding to different environmental challenges faster than any known technology in the galaxy. Nearby, Dr. Elena Rodriguez manipulated holographic representations of potential spacecraft designs. Her fingers moved gracefully, pulling and stretching complex geometric structures that represented the next generation of human space vessels. Each design incorporated biological learning algorithms that could predict and counter potential threats before they even materialized. The military liaison, Colonel David Chen, watched the scientists work with a mixture of respect and impatience. "How soon can we have functional prototypes?" he asked, his voice cutting through the ambient technological humming. Sung Min turned, a rare smile crossing his typically serious face. 3 weeks. Maybe less. The team had been working in complete secrecy. No external communications, no data transfers outside their isolated network. They understood the stakes. This wasn't just about defending the Zarians. This was about proving humanity's technological capabilities to the entire galactic community. Equipment that looked like a bizarre mixture of advanced computing systems and organic neural networks filled the laboratory. Quantum processors hummed alongside bioadaptive interfaces that seemed to breathe and pulse with an almost living energy. "The Void Swarm won't be prepared for this," Elena said, her fingers dancing across a holographic control panel. A simulated battle scenario played out, showing how their new technologies could potentially neutralize entire enemy fleets. Colonel Chen studied the simulation carefully. The human vessels moved with an unpredictability that would confuse any traditional combat algorithm. They twisted, merged, separated, and reformed like a living, thinking liquid, completely unlike any known spaceship designs. Sung Min's primary breakthrough was a neural adaptive targeting system that could learn and predict enemy movement patterns in real time. Traditional targeting systems relied on pre-programmed responses. His system would actually think, analyzing millions of potential scenarios every second. "We're not just building weapons," Sung Min explained to Colonel Chen. "We're creating a living, thinking defensive network that can adapt faster than any known technological system in the galaxy." Outside the research facility, the world continued its normal routine. Most humans remained unaware that their scientists were preparing a technological response that would reshape galactic understanding of human capabilities. The team worked around the clock, fueled by a combination of caffeine, dedication, and an almost spiritual commitment to their mission. They weren't just developing technology, they were preparing to honor an ancient debt, to prove that humanity could be more than just another species in the vast cosmic landscape. As night fell and the research facility's lights continued to burn bright, Dr. Sung Min looked at his team. They were ready. Humanity was ready. The Zarians would not be disappointed. The first encounter with the Void Swarm happened in the cold darkness between star systems, where silence normally reigned supreme. Captain Hyun Woo stood on the bridge of the experimental battleship Horizon's Promise, his hands steady on the neural interface controls. Around him, the ship's interior seemed to breathe with technological life. Quantum adaptive screens shifted colors and patterns, displaying real-time battle calculations that moved faster than human eyes could track. The ship was more than a machine, it was a living weapon. "Void Swarm vessels detected," announced Lieutenant Kim, her voice calm and controlled. 16 primary units, 37 secondary attack formations. The alien ships looked like nightmare constructions, twisted metal fragments that seemed to flow and merge, creating organic mechanical structures that defy traditional understanding of spacecraft design. They moved like a plague, consuming space around them with a hungry darkness. Hyunwoo's neural interface allowed him to feel the ship's responses before they happened. Each movement, each potential attack trajectory was processed simultaneously across multiple computational layers. The Horizon's Promise was responding to threats before they fully materialized. "Adaptive shield protocol," he commanded quietly. The ship's exterior began to shimmer, molecular structures rearranging themselves instantaneously. What appeared solid one moment became liquid the next, capable of absorbing and redirecting massive amounts of energy. The first Void Swarm attack came like a wave of destructive energy. Traditional spacecraft would have been obliterated in milliseconds. But the horizon's promise simply shifted. The energy wave passed through its adaptive exterior, getting absorbed and neutralized before it could cause any damage. Lieutenant Kim's eyes widened. "Targeting systems are reading multiple vulnerability points," she reported. The ship's quantum computers were analyzing the Void Swarm's attack patterns, finding microscopic weaknesses that no previous technology could detect. Hyunwoo's mind merged with the ship's neural network. He wasn't just controlling the vessel, he was becoming part of its computational matrix. His human intuition combined with machine-level processing created a hybrid intelligence that was unprecedented in galactic warfare. "Fire sequence Alpha Quantum," he whispered. Weapon systems that looked more like living tendrils than traditional cannons emerged from the ship's adaptive exterior. They moved with an organic grace, targeting multiple Void Swarm vessels simultaneously. Each energy burst was calculated to maximum efficiency, destroying enemy units with surgical precision. 3 Void Swarm squadrons disintegrated within moments. The remaining units seemed to pause, their collective consciousness struggling to comprehend this new, unpredictable threat. "They're learning," Lieutenant Kim noted, her fingers dancing across quantum communication panels. But not fast enough. The battle wasn't just a physical confrontation. It was a complex computational dance where humanity's adaptive intelligence was proving superior to the Void Swarm's collective technological methodology. Zarian observation ships watched in stunned silence. Their communication channels buzzed with disbelief. These humans were doing what entire galactic civilizations had failed to do for centuries. They were beating the Void Swarm at its own game. Hyunwoo remained calm, his consciousness spread across the ship's neural network. He could feel every molecular movement, every potential threat, processing information at speeds that defied traditional understanding of combat. As the engagement continued, it became clear this was more than a battle. This was a demonstration, a statement about humanity's technological capabilities that would resonate across the galaxy. The Void Swarm was about to learn a crucial lesson: humans don't just fight. They evolve. The galaxy watched in collective silence as humanity transformed the war against the Void Swarm. Tactical Coordinator Eun-ji stood in the central command hub, her eyes reflecting holographic battle projections that seemed to dance with impossible complexity. "Quantum nanite deployment in 3, 2, 1, she whispered. Millions of microscopic machines burst from human battle formations, moving like a living cloud across the cosmic battlefield. These weren't simple machines, they were adaptive intelligence carriers that could think, communicate, and restructure themselves faster than any known technological system. The Void Swarm's massive fleet suddenly found itself confronting something entirely unexpected. Where traditional defenders would have collapsed, human technology began to rewrite the very rules of engagement. Nanite swarms penetrated enemy ship systems, understanding and disrupting alien technologies at molecular levels. Captain Hyunwoo's experimental battleship Horizon's Promise became the central neural hub of this unprecedented attack. Its quantum-entangled systems communicated with the nanite swarms, creating a living, thinking combat network that anticipated enemy movements before they even occurred. Zarian military commanders watched in absolute amazement. Their communication channels buzzed with disbelief. Humanity wasn't just fighting. They were completely reimagining warfare. The Void Swarm's collective intelligence struggled to comprehend these new tactics. Their attack patterns, which had decimated countless civilizations, suddenly became predictable. Human technology was learning, adapting, and transforming faster than the alien threat could respond. Eun-ji's fingers moved across complex control interfaces. Each movement sent cascading computational waves through the battle network. Ships merged, separated, and reformed with a fluidity that defied traditional military understanding. "Primary objective achieved," she reported calmly. "Enemy strategic networks are collapsing." Quantum adaptive armor on human vessels shifted like living skin, absorbing and redirecting massive energy attacks. Where alien weapons would have destroyed conventional spacecraft, these new human technologies simply adapted. Entire Void Swarm squadrons began to disintegrate. Not through traditional weapon systems, but through computational warfare that attacked their very technological foundations. The aliens found their own systems turning against them, reprogrammed by microscopic human intelligence carriers. Military historians would later call this the moment humanity truly announced its arrival on the galactic stage. It wasn't just a victory, it was a complete technological revolution. The battle moved beyond physical confrontation. It became a complex dance of adaptive intelligence, where human creativity and technological innovation proved more powerful than any collective alien threat. Zarian observation ships transmitted continuous data streams, their communication channels filled with a mixture of relief and profound respect. Humanity had not just saved them, they had redefined the entire concept of technological warfare. As the engagement continued, it became clear this was more than a military confrontation. This was a statement about human potential, about our species' capacity to innovate and adapt in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. Captain Wu's consciousness remained spread across the battle network, processing millions of computational scenarios every second. The line between human intelligence and machine processing had become beautifully, impossibly blurred. Final computational sequence initiated, Unji announced. The remaining Void Swarm units didn't just lose. They were systematically dismantled, their technological foundations completely rewritten by human nanite intelligence networks. In that moment, the galaxy understood something profound: humanity was no longer just another species. They were a technological force that could reshape entire cosmic paradigms. The turning point had arrived. And the universe would never be the same. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Commander J. Park stepped forward. Representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations watched, their collective gaze a mixture of respect, wonder, and something close to awe. The Void Swarm was gone. Completely and utterly defeated. Zarian Grand Chancellor Kiro stood at the center of the chamber, his multiple eyes reflecting a depth of emotion that transcended words. Centuries ago, humans had saved his species from extinction. And now, they had done it again. Humanity has not just defended us, Kiro announced, his translator rendering his words with perfect clarity. You have rewritten the very understanding of technological warfare. Behind Commander Park, the diplomatic team represented the best of human potential. Scientists, military strategists, and diplomatic experts who understood that true strength wasn't about destruction, but about preservation and understanding. Historical records were brought forward. Documentation of the first human intervention centuries ago, a complex rescue mission that had saved the Zarian civilization from total collapse. A debt that had been forgotten by most, remembered by few. We remember, Park said simply. The holographic displays began showing the detailed battle sequences. How human technology had not just fought the Void Swarm, but completely dismantled its fundamental technological infrastructure. Each projection revealed layers of adaptive intelligence that made traditional warfare look primitive. Alien civilizations that had long considered humans a minor species now saw them differently. These weren't just warriors. They were technological architects who could reshape entire cosmic threats. Dr. Sung Min, the primary architect of their adaptive technology, stood quietly in the background. His team's quantum neural interfaces had transformed warfare forever. They had created systems that could think, learn, and evolve faster than any known technological network. The Zarian Diplomatic Corps presented humanity with the highest possible galactic honor, the Stellar Preservation Medal. No species had ever received this recognition before. It represented not just military accomplishment, but a fundamental commitment to galactic stability. You didn't just save us, Chancellor Kiro continued. You showed us a new way of understanding technological potential. Diplomatic negotiations began immediately. Humanity wasn't just being invited into galactic political structures, they were being welcomed as essential partners. Technology transfer agreements, joint research protocols, and collaborative defense networks were being drafted in real time. Commander Park understood the deeper significance. This wasn't about military victory. This was about proving that humanity could be a responsible, adaptive, and compassionate galactic civilization. The battle had cost lives. Human pilots and technicians had made ultimate sacrifices. But their technology, their adaptive intelligence, had minimized those losses in ways no previous civilization could have imagined. As the ceremony continued, something profound was happening. The galaxy was watching humanity not as a young, aggressive species, but as a sophisticated civilization capable of solving complex technological challenges. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had designed many of the quantum adaptive systems, watched the proceedings with quiet pride. Her team had proven that human innovation could be a force of preservation, not just destruction. The Void Swarm threat was over. But humanity's galactic journey was just beginning. Representatives from different alien civilizations began approaching the human delegation. Collaborative research proposals, joint exploration missions, and technological exchange programs were being discussed with unprecedented enthusiasm. Commander J. Park looked out over the assembled aliens. No grand speeches were needed. Actions had spoken louder than any words could. The ancient debt was repaid. And humanity had shown the galaxy something remarkable. The true strength lies not in conquest, but in understanding, adaptation, and preservation. The universe would remember this moment. The day humanity proved it was ready to take its place among the stars.